All right, what's good, YouTube? None less than the greatest, back with another banger, man. And so today we're going to be going over this Lil Durk case, more or less, or just his bond, actually, because there's been a lot of speculations regarding whether Durk would get a bond or not, and clearly the answer is no. You know, his bond did get denied. But let's talk about that situation a little bit. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you guys know that Durk was picked up for murder for hire, this kind of murder, that murder, you feel me? All type of shit Durk was doing, you know. He was more than the voice. He was the muscle. He was the shot caller. You get what I'm saying? Well, according to the federal indictment. Now, I know a lot of you are pretty familiar with this case because, you know, it's been like, what, a year plus now or something since he's you know, been arrested. So I'm not going to talk about any, you know, specific details or anything, but let's just talk about the situation as an entirety, right? So Durk was originally back in like 2019 or 20 or something, right? Him and Von shot a dude. They were going back and forth on Instagram Live with some dude from Atlanta. I don't know who he was. And they pulled up. Durk and Von pulled up and shot him, right? And it was basically all on live. It's kind of like documented. You can see them with the Drakes. You can see them in the, you know, the suspected vehicle. All of that shit together, flashing guns, doing all that shit. So, they were arguing with this dude back and forth on live. And then they pulled up and allegedly it was King Von who actually shot him. They were out on bail for that case in, you know, Atlanta or Georgia or whatever, right? So they're out on bail, and during that time, that's when King Von got, you know, he got murdered at the hookah lounge with Quando Rondo. So the charges that they were facing, I think it was like, you know, aggravated assault or some shit. I'm not sure what exactly, you know, the charges that they were facing were, but being that they're both felons, the charges held a lot more time, you know, than the average, you know, person getting charged with something like that. So they were released and they both got out on bail, but after King Von died, allegedly the state dropped the charges. But what we're not understanding with that situation, the state dropped the charges only because the feds was already investigating Lil Durk. You know, Durk was already on the federal radar. So that's why the DA decided to step back and drop all the charges, which for those of you guys that don't know, the same DA that was trying Durk is the DA that tried Draco the Ruler. I forgot her name. But after the Draco case or whatever, all she did was just move from LA to Atlanta and just tried the same shit in Atlanta. So that's why we see the Thug indictment. The Durk indictment is a little different because it is a federal indictment. So it's above the state level. You get what I'm saying? So they already have all this information, and they're in these early court proceedings, they're just giving out a little, you know, a little side dish. Well, here, Durk said this, Durk said this, Durk said this. At least that's what I'm assuming, because a lot of the things that they're saying and accusing him of aren't really things that, you know, aren't really substantial evidence to put somebody behind bars. You get what I'm saying? A lot of the stuff that they're accusing Durk with is music related. What I mean by that is they're using Durk's lyrics to indict him. Let me say that. They're using Durk's lyrics to indict him, which if you guys don't know, if you guys do not know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What Durk is doing in the studio, when you go in the studio and you're recording and make music, which is a form of art, bro, you're protected under the First Amendment. You have freedom of speech. You get what I'm saying? Freedom of speech. Not to get confused with hate speech or anything like that, because it's not like, okay, we're going to be honest here. Durk's music, makes great music. He's a great artist, a great performer, all of that shit. But the music that he makes is degrading to, you know, his own community, one. But other than that, his music, you cannot use a form of art as substantial evidence in a murder case. You get what I'm saying? Because everything that you're listening to is speculation. When somebody says something, somebody makes a song or whatever, somebody's rapping, making music, making art, making poetry, it's under speculation as to what the reader, the listener, what they're pulling from the specific, you know, body of work that we're talking about in terms of music right now. We're talking music right now. So what you're pulling from Durk's music, bro, is all based on your personal, you know, your personal beliefs. You get what I'm saying? It's not like you're in this man's head, you know what he's talking about, you know he's talking about this murder. A lot of the stuff that they released in the early court dates is like Durk saying, no, go, and shit like that. Like, so what I mean by that, which, right? So a lot of us think that when they try to use his lyrics, I forget what song it is. It's like with a Babyface Ray song where he like, they say no, he say go. So what they try to say is that Durk was talking about Quando Rondo's situation, which is crazy because Durk's label doubled back and backed him and said, no, we have actual proof that this song was recorded a year before. You get what I'm saying? So the evidence that they have is insubstantial, first of all. For sure. There's no question about that, right? It's insubstantial. But what they're doing, they're like, okay, well, it might not be about that murder, but it's probably about one of the other 10, which that is unjust. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? In a court of law, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Constitutionally, they're not allowed to do that. You can't pick somebody up for speculation because of what you deciphered from their songs, right? You're not in his head. You don't know what he's talking about, what he's relating to, or where his head is at during the time that he's recording the music. If we're being realistic here, like, and I'm not going based on like, oh, I'm a street nigga. No, I'm going based on the U.S., the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and things like that. Like, we're obligated to free speech. Not free hate speech, but we're obligated to free speech, which if you've been paying attention a lot lately, you notice that a lot of people are turning the First Amendment free speech into something as to where they can use hate speech. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot towards, black, a lot of white supremacy stuff is spreading at the moment. But nevertheless, we're kind of getting off topic. So yeah, so they can't speculate like, okay, well, we believe it's for this murder. Well, no, you got proof that it's not for that murder? Okay, well, it's probably for one of the other ones. Like, no, it doesn't really work like that. But the justice system is so unjust that this is what's currently happening. Artists are being prosecuted for practicing their First Amendment right. You get what I'm saying? Now, enough with, the amendments and Bill of Rights and, the constitutional rights that we as Americans have. The messed up part about the Durk situation, right? With a lot of these situations with these street dudes that go down for like shit that, they're not really supposed to be charged with. The thing about these situations is the feds, the law enforcement, they're like, okay, you're smart. You're a smart criminal. We know we can't get you on A, B, and C, right? We can't get you on these things that we know you did because you covered your tracks good. But what we can do, we can get you on sort of a lesser charge. But what they like to do, even though they get you on a lesser charge, they give you the time that they would want to give you for the charges that they really want to get you for, right? And I know a lot of you might be a little confused as to what that means. So let's go back in history. If we look at, I think it might be John Gotti. No, Al Pacino, right? If we look at Al Pacino or Scarface, right? For his situation, he had all of these crimes, right? All these crimes, all the shit that he did during the Prohibition era, you know what I'm saying? One of the original gangsters from Chicago. He had all these crimes, but they couldn't charge him with any of them. So what did they hit him with? I think it was like tax evasion or something, or racketeering or something that they made up to charge him with. Because they know, like, hey, we can't charge you with what we really want to get you for, so we're going to hit you with this. We're going to make up this new law. We're going to make up racketeering. We're going to hit you with tax evasion, money laundering. And we're still going to give you the same 25 years that we wanted to give you for all the other shit we feel like you did. But now, it doesn't even matter if we have a substantial information, substantial information on you, or if we have, anything really. You get what I'm saying? They're just pulling these charges out of the air, making them up, and they're gonna hit you with them. And that's the kind of situation we're gonna see here with Lil Durk. They can't get him for the years and years of violence that he had caused in Chicago. A lot of money. Durk put a lot of money behind a lot of different hoods and a lot of different people. You get what I'm saying? To kind of build his, his image. You get what I'm saying? So the feds, they don't really have any substantial evidence. You get what I'm saying? They don't have a lot of evidence. They have a little bit of evidence that they're kind of like piecing together. Maybe there's like an informant somewhere in between. I forgot his name, right? Yeah, there was an informant. So yeah, they're gonna fry Durk, basically. Durk, not fry him, all right? Let me rephrase that. Durk is gonna do time. He's gonna get charged with something. So I'm assuming realistically Dirk does have good lawyers, but I'm assuming Dirk is going to do anywhere from at least 10 years. I mean, at most, Dirk is going to do, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be charged with 10. You get what I'm saying? He might get out early. He might not see most of that time, but Dirk is going to have to sit for a few. But yeah, man, it's none less than the greatest. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, we out, man. Y'all drop some likes, show some love on the video. We trying to get back monetized. We out.